Hi everyone, do bear with me, just trying out a couple of new setups and that kind of thing, so I'm going to see what this looks like. I'll watch it back. If it doesn't work, I'll just switch it back to the full screen. But the other thing I should do is turn off the... don't really need the FPS counter at the moment. But welcome back to Fear and Hunger 2. It's been at least a couple of months. I always underestimate these things. But now that I've finished Changeling's playthrough and Pathologic, I'm keen to come back here and play a wee bit more of this for a couple of hours today. See if we can make any more progress. Last time, if I recall, I'd managed to make it through the bunker as Karin. I'd recruited a few characters, and I can't remember if I'd managed to retrieve any of the effigies that I need. So we'll have a look and see. 13. So I think just Tanaka was killed so far. He tends to be the main person who suffers a grisly fate. Right, so we just started day 2 under the Sulphur Sun. So just as a reminder, this game has three days to it, so we might as well just brush up on where we were. We're a little hungry, we're a little spooked. What we're going to do is just have a carrot that'll make us a bit better, and so you can see vodka's pretty good, beer is slightly less good. Hey Future Cityscape, good of you to pop in and say yo, I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Just have a little bit of that. Just trying to think what else I need to do to set up. I should check and see. Got the bench grinder, a sewer winch. Yo, Vios, how you doing? Keys, 89 shillings, gasoline canister. Maybe we don't have anything else of any use. I feel like I just turned on the trying to relax. I want to tag along. Who else did I actually recover? Was it Levi and Osa? Did I leave some people behind? How does magic work? It's quite a broad topic. All comes down to your willpower, and minds are far stronger than what you'd guess just by looking at your average peasant. There's a greater scheme that we all enact, fate if you will. You can manipulate that force and bend it to your own will. You need blind, unconditional belief in yourself to achieve this. People rarely possess such traits though. Even the most megalomaniac dictators in the world have a seed of doubt at the back of their head gnawing at their self-confidence. That was actually a bad example. Such dictators are usually the least capable of magic thanks to their fragile ego. But in any case, because of the human weakness, a conduit is often necessary. If we cannot believe in ourselves, maybe we can believe in higher powers. Through worship of the older gods, we can channel our unconditional belief and thus create simple tricks that manipulate the world around us. So gods don't really gift us with magic. I never said that. Who's to say gods aren't manifestations of our unconditional belief as well? Maybe they are just extensions of our mind, so in a sense the gift of magic would come from them. This is a hotly debated topic among grand priests. Of course it is. These are just theories, of course, so use this information with a grain of salt. We are just miserable humans after all, what do we know? Did you want to come with me now? Okay. Had I recovered anyone else? Maybe I left them at the bar. So if I haven't recovered any of the effigies, so I think we've turned on 2 out of 3 of the big machines that rest under the city, but we do need to unlock the passage through the church, and that might prove to be somewhat difficult. I'm going to try make that my goal for today, but who knows whether that will actually happen. This game really likes to screw with you RNG wise. Right. Oh hi. What are you sitting here for? Got bored just sitting inside. Forest bed already fascinated me yesterday and I just had to inspect it closer. I'm a botanist, you see. Bohemia's got a rich and unique flora. I've read quite a bit about it, but it's a different thing to actually see it in real life. Yes, the chat logs are supposed to be staying on screen, but that's just something I was trying for this particular stream. Just because the resolution of Fear and Hunger is different, but if we don't like it, I'm happy to clear them. If we'd feel more comfortable clearing them, I can easily change that. But it was deliberate, just as a test. Thanks for letting me know, because these things do happen. Yeah, basically just a test for this stream, and if we determine that doesn't really work, then happy to ditch it and see what I can do about the resolution. I'm just trying a bunch of different things with OBS and seeing what works and what doesn't with my ramshackle streaming abilities. I've read quite a bit about it, but it's a different thing to finally see it in real life. I already spotted some wild dagger over there. It's a plant that simply doesn't grow in Europa. Like, Olivia's just talking and Karen's stomach is rumbling. Usually I'd expect someone to have planted it here, but it looks to be growing here naturally. For what it's worth, it has my vote. Cool. Yeah, I wouldn't keep it like this for games, obviously, that I've got stretched over the whole screen. But I think for games like this, works quite well. Hello, Alex Sanderkin, how you doing? Where are the others? Well, most people already left for the city. Marco went to check out the city too, despite the dangers. He said to be back soon, though. Now, I can't remember to actually have accomplished a bit by the morning of the second day. If we managed to do all that, I'm not going at a bad pace here. This game gives me the creeps. Yeah, I remember, I was shocked really at how well it works, given it's just a JRPG at its core, made with RPG Maker, but the level of artistic achievement, first of all, in the art style, obviously a huge success, but this great sense of atmosphere that is communicated through visuals, through sound, and through the game's, shall we say, unrelenting level of difficulty. Glass shards. Open up with force. Terrible stench oozes from the inside. You find a white vial. So I would definitely love to make a video essay on this game. I think the way in which it uses space, which again is one of my favourite topics, space and spatiality and temporality in games, which of course they're all really closely tied together. This would be a prime topic, I think, for a video. Check the bookshelf, find the chapter of Volmer, cool. But yeah, just the deliberate placement of art assets and objects. Such a small thing, but just having papers scattered on the floor and broken mirrors around because people can't stand to look at themselves anymore after the moon scorching. And then, yeah, just the washed out. It has a similar approach to Pathologic in the colours that it uses, and that everything is really well considered. Even here, the level of detail, just the peeling wallpaper on these walls, could have very easily just not done that, but the fact that there's that level of detail just immerses you that bit further. So good for RPG Maker horror game, yeah, it really is. No Unreal Engine 5 graphics, no actors, yep, just the atmosphere, and really that's what a good horror game comes down to, isn't it? Is the atmosphere. You can do who knows how many other things right, but if you don't nail the atmosphere, if you don't immerse the player properly, then I think you're not achieving as much as you could be, because players will forgive a lot of things if the atmosphere is good enough. I know that for certain. So he's not really doing very much at the moment. He's just wandering around, the woodsman there. Love to try my hand at RPG Maker one of these days. I look at games like this and realise how much work I'd be setting myself up for. Yeah, it's it has some of the best visual design of RPG Maker games. It really does. Everything sort of fits really well, pops off the screen. There's no moment of sort of uncertainty, like what is that? And just one of my favourite details about this game is, I think I might have talked about this last time, but it was a while ago, is the way that every enemy gets a chance to sort of shine. Even these rubbish enemies are given, the same weight visually as more powerful enemies, right? It's just one enemy versus however large your party happens to be. So we'll get rid of that. Actually, I don't know, did I equip him with a weapon? Probably not. No, I did. He's got a pipe. Pretty simple code-wise. Yeah, since Maker itself has all the tools, but the art, music, and narrative, a whole other thing. It's just just like making any good game, really. I mean, it just requires a lot of effort, and it requires a lot of thought, I think. I think a lot of people still don't really realise just how much work is put into making a video game sometimes. So it's still this lack of understanding about how complex it actually is, especially to make something stand out like this. Hugely impressive. A friend and I talked about making a game with RPG Maker. Yeah, definite passion projects. You need to have real enthusiasm about the project to see it through. You find yourself in the middle of an encounter. Marco, ... Take it easy. It was all just a big misunderstanding. We continue our separate ways and everyone stays alive for tomorrow. It's easy to feel remorse when you're looking down the barrel of a gun. Gonna save Marco the boxer. How annoying. Pav whips out his pistol faster than you're able to react. Too slow, too slow. Osar is almost dead. I'm gonna give him... Do I even have any healing items? I don't, actually. What can I do for him? Nothing really. Just gonna try... yeah, I guess I'll... And then we'll whack his arm off. There's nothing I can do here, is there? This is what I was talking about in terms of the randomness. Of all the people that Pav had to shoot, he just happened to shoot the guy with the lowest health. Tried to make Pathologic 1 an RPG Maker engine, but really exhausting to do everything alone. Yeah, making a game alone is... You have to have such a broad set of skills, right? Even in a big team, it can be difficult to find all of the different skills that you want. I'll take that off. I think that prevents him from doing anything other than tackling. Just gotta try and kill him as quickly as possible. I would also be curious to know how far you got with that project. Chaotic Soul. Basically, made towns, some characters and scripts, like dialogues. Something fun to try. Yeah, it does sound like a lot of fun. I think porting a game into another format, whether that be another video game engine or tabletop, I think it really gives you a new appreciation for what's being done in the original game or the original narrative to make it work. Converting Pathologic into a tabletop was also a very interesting experience. We should leave the city as soon as possible. It's not safe. I just came for this wheelchair and some supplies. Heading back to the train. It seems to be the safest area I've seen so far. Recommend following me there. Barber's down. The army uniform, Luger pistol, and 10 9mm bullets. Took Pav's head as a trophy. Okay. So I'm wondering if the best thing to do actually is to drop Osa back at the train until we can get some healing items for him. I feel like I already looted some of these houses last time, but we can have a look again. Cupboards only store to do laundry. Yeah, so we've been through here, looted this house last time. Which is the problem with an erratic streaming schedule. I can't remember what filthy cupboards I've searched already. Let's come back up this way. Let's head back to the train. Hopefully we don't get caught by the woodsman. Try and get Osa through this. He can just sit at the train for a while. And I'll take Marco and Olivia. Cool. Just kite him. I think generally it can be tempting to look at RPG Maker and think that it's, you know, that the game being made has been made on easy mode or something. But there is still like an incredible amount of work that goes into it. You do still have to learn how to use a whole new game development engine and all that kind of stuff as well if you've never used it before. So it's not like it's a completely simple, you know, easy game development process. I'm just going to dump these guys back in the train and then I'll talk to them. I think I'll sit down for a bit. Enough adventuring. Wandered off to the next cabin. He's almost almost dead, so fair enough. Want to tag along? Sure thing. Sorry, I let you rest for about 2 seconds. Back we go. I think another part of what makes certain horror games effective is the music, the mood that it can index, and you can sort of flip to in the emotional register of your mind. You can rely on that to sort of calm you down or freak you out or energize you, all these kinds of things. I see you got a wheelchair now. Oh, right. I guess I never talked about it with you. I'm pretty much useless without one. My legs don't function properly. But I'm not the biggest fan of that subject, so you don't have to talk about it. I'm good now that I got my wheels. Okay. I heard you met Marco in the city. What's happening here? We were thinking whether it makes any sense to stay at the train any longer. If any help was to come, I'm sure it would be here already. And when the city itself is in the shape it is, maybe we just need to figure out the situation ourselves? Did make a handful of text-based games as a kid. I've been thinking that it might be fun to have a project like that again, now that I have more relevant skills. Yeah, I've written a few text games. I've not released any of them, but it is a really fun project. I think it does hone both writing and game design skills, because you do have to think about player agency and the how far you want the players' choices to go. I think that the temptation is very easy for me to just keep on writing, just keep on adding choices, but of course that's unfeasible. So it does teach you scope, which is important. Want to tag along? Sure, I guess. Now that I can move around more freely, it would be good to see just what is happening here. Lots of good things. So we're hungry again. And Bella is also hungry, so I'll give her a turnip. It's becoming more clear that simply staying at the train won't get us anywhere. So I want to tag along then? Sure, I could take a look around for now anyways. Okay, so there are 3 effigies that we need to find. So one of them is in the orphanage. Thanks, Future Cityscape. Nice of you to drop by. Hope you have a good rest of your day, night, whatever time it is where you are. Hope you have a good rest of it. Thanks. So the orphanage, there's a apartment block in the town, and there's also the church. That's where all of the effigies are. I don't think we have one. Do we? Got a bunch of heads, but I don't think we have any. And we need a specific sort of magical tool that'll get us through the orphanage door. I think I remember discovering that last time, that I hadn't actually picked one of those up. And you can see on the map, it might be hard to see, but that cross there on the right next to the train station, we have to go through the sewers to get there, and that's not a particularly easy journey. Sewers in any video game, I tend to get... I like to think I've got a pretty good sense of direction in a video game, but I don't know what it is about sewer levels, but I often get turned around, I think just because there's no real discernible landmark. So if I do go to the sewers this time around, expect me to be faffing around, struggling to figure out which way to go exactly. But there might be items down there we can use too. If we go back this way, we'll try dodge the woodsman, and what I should do actually is equip her with trench gun, armor uniform. Is there anything else? And the pickle halberd, decorative helmet made from hardened leather with reinforced metal trims. Out of date, but works just fine. Faff as you please. That's my motto. And this is from Olivia's perspective here. You gasp as you take the trench gun in your arms. The firearm feels heavy and sturdy. Slowly you graze its thick barrel with your index finger. Your body is tingling with adrenaline from just holding the gun. You've never used one before, but oddly it feels just right, like you were always meant to wield one. I do quite like that detail, for whatever reason, that Olivia is charged by having this enormous, basically shotgun. Oh, we might not be able to get around him this time. Maybe. No, he's still too slow. That's fine with me. He should be easy enough with a party of 4. I just don't really want to waste any of the trench gun ammo on him in particular. Because once you have a party of 4, you can knock both his arms off, and from there he's pretty easy to take down. But if it's just one, if it's just you, see that's my problem with the game is I haven't played it to the point where I know like all of the good strategies. I have probably the basic strategies under my belt, but I'm nowhere near the level where people are like running through it solo or whatever. They've got all the items that they need. They know exactly what everything does. Oh, Needles is still alive in this one. I forgot I hadn't killed him yet. Again, with 4 and a bunch of gasoline canisters, I should be alright. With 4 people, I mean. The question is whether we get ambushed by anyone on the way. Yeah, there we go. So it's best not to get into a fight with the beekeeper there, who's a really wonderfully designed monster, as you can see. He's just this... Once you kill him, you discover that he's hollow. I never survived till town. It's really hard, but in some sense I think it's easier than the... I find it easier, or more approachable anyway, than the first game. That one feels even more luck dependent for whatever reason. I struggle much more with the first one, whereas I always make some steady progress in the second, even if I do have to throw some of my playthroughs in the bin because I make some silly mistakes, or I just get unlucky. But that's alright, like I accept that that's part of the game. This I think is probably one of the best, most atmospheric horror environments in any game I've ever encountered. So this is this horrible apartment complex, and you might be able to hear the buzzing. I hope the sound is good enough, but this whole place is sort of covered in this white crust, this sort of white mold, and the sounds of insects buzzing. I've also got this television here, so let's tune in. Can they see white noise? No, wait, there are shapes forming in the chaos. Karin Sauer, that's us. PLTV News. Shocking acts of crime in the heart of Prehevil. Described by Karin. Really love the presentation. The sheer level of effort here is really astounding. Commentating the events here at the Prehevil Bohemia is Karin Sauer. Good afternoon. A murder so heinous and perplexing in all its particulars that's never before been committed in the city of Prehevil. The tragedy of the 28th Street. This most extraordinary and frightful affair that transpired here in the heart of the city baffles the residents of the apartment building to no end. The person held in charge of this crime was said to never have been a suspicious one. All the residents described him as a calm individual who liked to keep to himself most of the time. Regardless of his outward persona, inside, this man was a monster. Residents of the apartments 2, 6, 11 and 13 were murdered in the most gruesome manner, so I'm just going to jot that down. We got 2, 6, 11, 13. Okay, television screen is filled with white noise once again. You recognize yourself from the TV screen. You don't even remember doing a broadcast like this in your life. You are certain you've never even visited the city before, so how can there be footage of you commentating a murder? So we have this idea that constantly comes up in this game, which is the question of morality and identity, and muddying those waters a bit. is the presence of certain creatures. So we got the master key here. Certain creatures who take on the appearance of other contestants, and there's sort of this. Of course, like it's a psychological horror game in a sense, so there's always this disjunction with reality. But I think what makes Termina particularly effective is its reliance on the presentation of ruin. So there's a bunch of different intersections of ruin, and ruin is very material. We like to have a sense of a ruin of decay, and the thing about choice in games, right? So there are a bunch of different layers. This is stuff I talk about in the video essay that I want to make, which I've written a little bit on. But there's often the definition of agency is being allowed to make changes within a space over time. Ruins themselves are created by decay over time, and time, of course, is really central to Termina. So we have the constant sort of ticking clock. Whenever you sleep, we go on to the next bit of the game. Time is always moving on, no matter how you try to mitigate that. Our hunger is ticking down, our mind is ticking down the longer we spend in the darkness, so on and so forth. Washing machine is shaking violently. There's a padlock with a mechanical 4-digit code keeping the lid closed. Investigate. Glass window is dirty with murky liquids foaming inside. You don't see any laundry inside though. Occasional thump sounds suggest there are some objects inside. So we can see if 4 of us can smash the washing machine open. We might not be tough enough to do it. We're just going to blast it with a shotgun and hit it with a bunch of hammers. Personally, and punch it a bit. Personally opposed to the washing machine. You can see the washing machine is too strong for all of that. This is an incredibly powerful washing machine. So what we're going to have to do is figure out the code to open it up. Moldy crates. So yeah, everything in this apartment is covered in this thick layer of mold, and you don't need 3D graphics or anything like that to get the sense that this is just a really disgusting, repulsive environment. And I think, like, my personal bias, of course, is towards 3D spaces, because I think you can achieve a lot with a good 3D space in a video game. There's a lot that you can play with. I'm going to use the master key here. There's a lot you can play with, but at the same time, I have been playing a bunch of games. It was a safe in its last life. That would make sense. There's a bunch of games I've been playing recently, a bunch of 2D horror games, and I think I may have to slowly concede that my internal bias doesn't make a lot of sense. It's totally just a gut preference. Door doesn't open, additional safety locks inside, so we've got to find a way in from a different direction. Yeah, there's this real interest for me in terms of how 2D space can be played with and made vividly real. It's so quiet, no one could probably hear you scream from here. And even just little setting details like that really ramp up the creepy factor, right? No, I'm really fond of how this game toys with space and expectation and actually makes a layered city that feels tangibly broken. Like it is a city in ruin, in disaster. And all of the monsters, of course, just add to that. I really hate these guys. So these are based on the Silent Hill 3 Slurper enemies, I believe they're called, and they're just just as horrible as you would expect, because those are the worst enemies in Silent Hill 3 anyway. So we're gonna try and knock its arms off, but might take a couple of rounds, and who knows what's going to happen to us in that time. Because it does a lot of damage if it does hit us. Neighbour whips its tongue out, seems to be smelling the air with it. Charming. And just the level of animation there is just disconcerting enough to be disgusting. Like, it doesn't need to be... Like, it's just this really simple looping animation. But the presentation is just, yeah, just stunning. Blast that one. Cool. Suction tongue. That does a lot of damage too. I still don't think I have any healing items, which is bad. I'm gonna try to go for the head if we can. Which might be a bad move, but there we go. Karen's party was victorious. Search it. 2 shillings. So unfortunately there's a lot of these creatures in the later section of this same apartment, so hopefully Abella doesn't die. But the way my luck's been going so far, not good. The door is locked with a simple lock. There's a handwriting on the door that says please do not disturb. Gonna open it anyway. Totally not creepy at all. Bunch of dolls. Moldy bed here. You can sleep and rest if you wanted to. Though every alarm bell is ringing in your head when it comes to this apartment, not to mention the dolls. Yeah, I might give that a miss, to be perfectly honest. Can we go into this one? Use the master key. Cool, so we've entered into this large one here. Telescope seems to be carefully positioned here, but you cannot tell where it points at because the window is covered in white crust. So yeah, if you sleep in this apartment, bad things do indeed happen. You get you become one with the mold. You can't even get a white vial out of there. Horsehead statue stands proudly here. Statue doesn't seem too heavy, you could push it pretty easily. So I'm gonna try push it so we can break into a room down there. You can see that it must have been used. You can see the wee inscription there. Everyone's starting to feel hungry. I don't know what about this place is enticing people's appetite. Really bad luck with the healing items. Maybe I just used them all in the last one. You can see there's a small patch on the floor here, I think, but... Yep. Rotten floorboards gave into the weight of the statue. Now there's a gaping hole to the darkness here. Investigate. Dark down there, but by the looks of the rough shapes, you can see it should just be a similar apartment to this. So we're going to drop down. Cool. So we've got Dan in here. Man with checkered pants. That sigil on the floor, do you know what it means? I've never seen it before. Figures. I've only seen it once before, but I have no idea what it represents. I browsed through the raving documents of the man who used to reside here. Most of it was illegible, but from what I did understand, he was preparing a ritual for an older god, deity, or whatever. Like the sigil, this ritual too is something I've seen once before, but no idea what it all means. I wonder if the ritual was complete or not. Could this ritual be the source of the chaos in the city? Dunno. I doubt it, I'm not a superstitious person. How can you not be after what you've seen here? There are some wild things out there wandering the streets, sure, but there is always a scientific answer to everything. Very confident answer. He really is derived from Daniil Dankovsky, isn't he? Whether that science exceeds the science of today is another topic entirely, but it's always something you can study and learn. No use moping around. I'll continue my investigations. There has to be more about this case somewhere. See you later. But how are you going to leave? The apartment door's locked. Okay. Book on the floor with some erratic writing in it. Find the diary of a madman. There's a nice short story called the Diary of a Madman. I think it's Lu Jun from memory, about a man who is paranoid and thinks that everyone is eating human flesh and feeding him human flesh. So it's about the influence of the state and the influence of other people on the human psyche. So, I wouldn't put it past the game to be making a deliberate reference, but it also might not be at all. Give everyone some stuff to eat. What else we got? Yeah, you can have a paprika, Marco. That'll make you feel better. Alright, so we got to read the Diary of a Madman here. Diary of a person living in the apartment building in the back streets of central Prehevil. I really am infatuated with Prehevil. I really do want to make a video on it. Really excellent. Most parts of the diary are completely legible scribblings of a madman, but towards the end the text becomes more lucid. Dream of the moon, the sign, the city is in upheaval. Fools, they don't know what awaits them. The moon is of no value to me. It is but a mark of a trigger. The time has come, and so has he. As you are my witness, I am ready, my lord. I have gone through this 1,000 times in my head. The first blood, the foolish braggart who just moved in. Second blood, the one who talks only to our plants. So these are clues. So what is it? The one is foolish braggart. 2 is plants. Third blood, girl who keeps me up at night. So songbird, some music. And fourth blood in the final sacrifice. Puppets will bear witness to his bloodletting. So puppets, dolls, whoever had that creepy apartment with all the dolls. To finish the ritual, I need time. The laundry room works as a perfect hiding place for the sacrificed. I will swear on your name, my lord. One true leader. The writing becomes too hard to read past this point. So we have this disjunction here between this dismissiveness of the moon, which is curious because the moon is currently hanging over the city, right? So it's really a potential first clue as to what else could be going on here, or what other malign influences have appeared in the city. So what we want to do is figure out which apartment number each place is. So we've got to find the plant apartment. Was that on this? No, so the music, songbird was 6, right? So that's the musical apartment. There is a plant in here, but no, it's not the one, because that's apartment number 5. So we've got to find the apartments that television Karin told us about. So maybe the other ones are upstairs. Provided the neighbor has stayed dead. Oh no, this is the plant one. So plant is 2. And if we find out what the doll one is, we should satisfactorily be able to just guess who the foolish braggart is. Which one was it? 11. I can hear like the sound of footsteps, which, much like Silent Hill, and the sounds that will randomly play. So yeah, person who just moved in, right? Is 13. So it's 13, 2, 6, 11. But just like Silent Hill, you have these sound effects that raise the tension because you don't know whether they're actually coming from an enemy or whether it's just background noise just to creep you out. And always that level of uncertainty is really what horror games should strive for, is this constant tension between what's real and what's not, which of course reinforces the theming of the game. Okay, so washing machine is shaking violently. There's a padlock with a mechanical 4-digit codes. Bella's at the edge of her sanity. She should have something to drink. Here, this will make you feel better. Everyone can have some. Let's all drink. Just all gather around the washing machine and drink some vodka. We are getting hungry again. You can have that. Okay, so we've got set a password 1 3 2 6 1 1. Cool. Open it. Insides are bloody and disgusting. Upon further investigation, you notice that the washing machine turns into a tunnel. You can see faint light out there in a short distance. Crawl in. I think always charmingly creepy. The song that's playing right now is honestly some of the most tangibly horrifying music I've ever heard. Mainly because it incorporates screaming directly into the soundtrack. A barrel contains gore and some white substance. It reeks terrible. So even though the game does not necessarily have high production values, though it really does look like it does, to be fair, it doesn't take much to ramp up the level of tension. A greasy stench fills the humid air. So just description like that, as I've spoken about before with Pathologic, the language is doing a lot of the simulation. Having writing that taps into the senses is really, really important. This might be the end of someone here. Just gonna try do the same thing we did before and blast its arms off. Not good. Still hasn't gone for a Bella though, but so 1 2 3 4. Knock the arm off. Blast the arm off. Here we go. Okay. Hopefully we can do enough damage here. I'll rev up a little, just to increase the amount of damage we're going to do. Let's just go for it. No. Oh dear. Just kind of hoping that would work. 18. Whips its tongue out. I'm going to try hitting it again. Not sure whether I just got lucky before or not, but yeah, maybe I did. No, okay, so I think when its tongue comes out, it's a little easier to hit. Still wasn't a great combat, but at least there's one less neighbor. I really hate the neighbors. You can take that out of context all you like. Chest is empty. Use the master key. I do appreciate that the master key still works, so we have this parallel world that's still playing by the same rules, that still represents the same place. So again, we've got this really cool simulation going on here, I think. Simple lock, master key. If we go through here, the stairwell is blocked, right? Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. So what we can do, let's go up through here, use the master key, and we got these pretty liquids are being drained from here, just these creepy, inexplicable things. Oh, come on. Oh no. Okay, what are we gonna do? Someone's probably gonna die here, to be perfectly honest. I should have used wrench toss. We're just gonna go for one arm. We're just gonna try negate him as much as possible. Okay, that's fine with me. One arm down. Yep, not looking good here. Just go again. Oh dear. So you can see that, yeah, it doesn't take much. It's for bad luck to set in. Do I have... I don't have anything that would really help. I don't even know if glass shards hurt this thing because there's not many eyes. You can see I'm still figuring out effective combat strategies. I mean, I could just try hit the head again. Hope we get lucky, but I doubt it. I think if either Abella or Olivia get tackled, it's the end. No, okay. We're out of ammo already. Rev up. So you can see it's just this game. It's pretty bloody relentless with the sheer number of enemies it can throw at you in a single claustrophobic area. Cool, got it. Everyone is inexplicably still alive. I don't really know how that's possible. Smells greasy and disgusting. Mucus. So those are the 4 victims, I think, but it's really uncertain what's happening to them. And here's the effigy we're after. Statue of a winged being seems to be holding something. Reach out and grab it. Fellatio effigy. You cannot quite explain why, but the small statuette feels to hold great importance. Okay, it's locked with a simple lock. Use the master key. Gore on some white substance. Okay, let's try and avoid... Try and avoid any more neighbours. Please. We're going to have to drop some more people off at the train. Or at the bar. Really need literally any healing items. Such bad luck. Complicated mechanisms. Can't unlock that. But yeah, this soundtrack just makes you confused and disoriented. I think it's really special. Okay, alright. We're out. Door is unlocked. Went through hell to get here. But we're in to get that item. Fought way too many neighbours for my liking. But we did it. Alright, we're out. So yeah, the game is really very tense, but also something very special. Just the sheer level of detail that differentiates every room really impresses me. A carrot, just what I needed. Golden chanterelle, vegetable pie, cloth fragment. Nope. Excuse me. Booby trap. Here comes needles to improve my day. Unlock the gate. I think I loaded up there. Okay, so I'm just planning out. So we got till the end of the 3rd day. So I've managed to flick on 2 of the tele-electroscopes. So the strategy really, I'm gonna equip her with a weapon. You can have the pipe for now. Turnip. The strategy is to determine how many saves I can use from here. So I still need to hit up the orphanage when I got the right item. I still need to go into the sewers. And I still need to go into the church. So technically that's, I should have enough saves to do everything, provided I don't, I take 1 save per thing. So I might as well head back. The question is, whether I take Marco with me, because everyone's pretty wounded, is really the problem. No one's really looking at flash. We'll see what we can salvage out of this situation. Come on, can you stop being a police officer? Stop patrolling the area. Just, can I quickly sprint around to the other side? I don't have enough sprint to do that, do I? I really don't want to fight the Bobby. If even one attack misses, it's pretty brutal. I'm gonna check and see if I looted the downstairs of this restaurant last time. I did, yes, okay. That was too much to hope for. Fill up a glass vial. Sounds hollow. Isn't any wine left? Isn't any wine left? Isn't any wine left? At least I got some. Okay, so really the strategy now is to recover some healing items from somewhere. I don't really want any characters to die just yet. Even if just because I know that there's a few really tough encounters. I think I saw his head off. Really few tough encounters that I want to avoid taking on alone. But in order to do that, I need healing items. I need people to be at least half strength. Currently, two members of the party are 2 hits away from dying, or 1 hit away from dying. Sorry, and yeah, the rest of us probably 2 if we're lucky. Which we haven't really been. I guess the only reason I have been lucky at all is due to the fact that the enemies have been not targeting me, and also haven't been targeting the most wounded. Like, if any of the neighbours in the last couple of fights had hit Abella, that would have been the end of her. But at least now I can drop her off at the train. I'm going to save here. And then I'm going to try with Marco, just Marco and I, we're going to try and track down some healing items. Even if we go to the shop and buy some, whatever we can afford, would probably be a good start. I must have like 90 something shillings by now. Yeah, we'll see how we do. But yeah, it's a really haunting game, I think, because it does. The best example of haunting is, I think I either have already talked about this before or plan to do it a bit more in a future video, but is this desire, I think, for us to do right by the characters in the game. So when we don't do that, that's a haunting experience, I think. Does no one want to rest? Why does no one want to rest? I thought there was like... everyone just wants to follow me around in here? Osa's still chilling on 1 hit point. But you know, what's most haunting about gameplay is when we consider the lost futures, so sort of the negative impact of our decisions, right? And understanding how yeah, I don't know why that didn't trigger before. I think I'll sit down for a bit. Phew, I'm beat. I need a break too. I think I'll wait outside if you don't mind. I think I'll take a breather too. You can find me outside. Okay. Rest for a bit. But yeah, facing up to the consequences of our actions and understanding the lost futures that we've created. It's very interesting. Okay, so Levi's gone as well. The tower, head to the tower. The one under the pale hue of the moon god. How may I best aid you in your quest? There are 11 souls left. 14 and no more. Head to the tower, let the blood spill. As 14 is reduced to 1, so opens the gates to the courts of Rare. I don't have any... I haven't refined the... No, I haven't. Probably should be doing that, but that's alright. Save. Save here. Cool. I think that's where, yeah, player agency is really best called into question. Is in actual gameplay, having players face up to the consequences of their actions. Like in, it's a narrative version of it in Forbidden Siren, but in Termina and Pathologic 2, they both have elements in gameplay that point directly to your failures, that have important narrative consequences. So I think there's some of the most haunting games from that perspective that are out there, because they do allow for player consequence, the consequence of players' choices to come back and bite them, but also in a way that is satisfactorily confronting, right? That's confronting but not judgmental, I think is the really important thing to consider. There's not necessarily any judgment from on high from the developer, and then 99.9% of the time the characters have reactions, the world has a reaction, but there's no invisible meter, that ticks up and says, oh, you've lost such and such morality points, or you're now a good person, or all these kinds of arbitrary meters popping up can really damage our perception of the game, and also either influence our own morality and own sense of what's right and wrong, or just sort of confront us with the knowledge that the developer isn't really playing by the same rules, right? So we're gonna just get rid of these guys and put an end to this suffering here. In the hopes that they also have healing items. Tobacco. Actually, I might talk to him first. Are you going to hurt me? No one's going to get hurt here. No, you got it wrong. I want you to. Please, just end this. And the design of the enemies, I think Miro, the developer, has said that the Moonscorched, the really simple villagers and Moonscorched enemies at the start of the game, are actually his favourite design. In part, I think, because of the influence of Francis Bacon, I believe, but also just the really simple fable or story, right? That the moon reveals the truth, and that the moon is revealing these sort of horrible facets of humanity, or all of these sort of buried thoughts and feelings. I really do like that as a metaphor, twisted into horror. I think it works really well. I think I did go down here last time. I know that there's probably a guy patrolling around here. I really just want to find like one blue herb, to be perfectly honest. That's all I'm asking for. But I don't think the game is gonna cooperate, to be perfectly honest. Paprika. Old wagon. Someone has been trying to keep it functional by patching up all the rotten wood, but it looks like the thing could fall apart any minute now, regardless of the efforts. Let's see. Search. Nothing there. Just look at me. Just look at me. What is going on here? Deflated lip, hanging eyelids, comb my face. It's really, evocative writing goes a very, very long way in a video game. And there is still, I think, a relative lack of appreciation, at least in wider circles, for how writing actually affects the mood of the game, the text itself, and how we relate to it. The choice of individual words, individual language is really crucial, and often misunderstood, underappreciated. Okay, so we're going back through towards the mayor's house. I mean, we could get killed here, who knows? Because there's the rifleman and the villager in here. Maybe they don't know where we are, or maybe they're confused. Can I just sprint for him? Just try and take him out ourselves. Torso. Let's go for it. So you can see, even with 2 party members, I mean, Marco helps a lot, but lone rifleman saw you. But even just the way the background changes, right? I really like that too. So you have the importance of the enemy, like the threat is visually apparent because it's this one enemy who sort of towers over you and your characters. So the survival horror of that is reinforced. It really makes you respect each and every enemy in their own way. Even if they are comparatively easy to deal with, you know that any enemy could technically spell your demise. Rifle out of shape and broken. We'll take his ammo. Take his head too. Took the rifleman head. Glass shards. Glass shards. Glass shards. Sickle. Off his head as well. Really disgusting noise, isn't it? It's very, very good. Find a white vial. Everything is in surprisingly good order. Can't walk over and check that pot. Find a crossword puzzle. Maybe that'll entertain us. Looks like someone has filled some of it already. Morning has something void in its mouth. Random evocative attempts at poetry, perhaps? I think we searched this guy, didn't we? Something bulging in the corpse's pocket. Feel it. Right, we didn't. So the soldier's diary. Lavender, which helps slightly. Empty bucket with some grimy stains. Drawer is locked. Use the small key. First of all, can we force it open? Probably not. Punch it, Marco. Just punch the door. No, we can't force it open. Cool. And we go to the 2-story house. Wheat flour. So it's all random, like none of these drops are guaranteed. But I'm not really finding anything that I wanted to. I think the game can sense my desire and is rejecting it. Written in blood. Arm yourself. The festival of Termina. The festival of blood is upon us. Take the rifle. Yes. 1 bit of ammunition. Even just the way, like, I'm so impressed with the lighting. Again, for an RPG Maker game, just the realistic sense of lighting as well is just adds little subtle appreciations to each and every room. And little events like that, like the chair falling over by itself, these things don't have to be there, but the fact that they are is supremely important, I think. We must have killed that guy ages ago. Struggling to think where else I can search safely before I have to start going further into the city. See, I don't want to do the church, but I also like the church with just me and Marco, because the enemies in there are really annoying. Basement, go down. It's yeah, it's a tricky one. Just gotta strategize what I want to do. I can't remember if I killed the enemies down here or not, but it looks like I've looted looted everything down here already. Maybe we will have to go into the city. Oh no, there's this guy. We'll take him out. He's just staring at a wall. He was channeling my pathologic playthrough. Here we go. Just trying to think what I've been reading lately. I've been, trying to play more horror games in my spare time. Trying to just get as much inspiration as possible and do as much research as possible, and find there's so many different games I want to write about now. I've been playing much more than I was last year. So there's a lot of games I've got on my list, and I've jotted notes down. I haven't properly started to write a video essay, but I've started to collect thoughts on about 5 or 6 different games. Syringe of Heroin, it's not particularly helpful anymore. Yes, I got about 5 or 6 games that I would be keen to play. Did I kill? I didn't kill Vile, so Vile is still down there. Let's see. But as always, it's just a case of not having enough. Not having enough time. Justice and order. Yay. With 2, he'll only be able to get in 1 attack at a time. Once, and then theoretically we can negate all of his attacks provided we never miss. Go for the torso. His 2 arms will respawn, but he has stopped shaking his head. Just go straight for the head if he's going to do that. Search, find a small key, beat him. Body of the Bobby was pulsating steadily, but now it's stopped. The husk feels stiff and hollow. Okay, so at least we've cleared that out. See, we gotta get to the museum. That's like the last place we want to go after we've accomplished all these other objectives. It's just me strategizing exactly which way to go from here. I guess we'll try... could try the church, or we could try go down into the sewers from here. I think there's a rifleman around here somewhere. Use the small key. Pop in here, maybe there's gonna be something in here. Grandfather clock has stopped working, it's stuck at 2:35. Bottle of beer. That's the luggage. A blue vial, thank goodness. But we're gonna have to give that immediately to you, but that's fine. Okay, old hotel. Search the luggage, a glass vial. Shelves are full of maintenance tools, apparently nothing useful. Cardboard boxes are turning into a mush. They've been exposed to severe humidity. White vial. Not as useful as a blue vial, but I guess it still helps. Everything helps. Dirty ashtray. Is there anything empty forms here for hotel residents? Light the candle. Drawers only have everyday items for hotel residents. Nothing catches my attention. And the staircase has collapsed. We can't go up. We can't open the grandfather clock either. Well, we got 1 healing item out of that, so that's more than I can say for others. Still got shot, but only grazed. Moldy bread, not helpful. Another Bobby there. Eyeglasses and duct tape. White file. Cloth fragment. Leave me alone. So yeah, it's a constant barrage, and I think what makes an effective horror game as well is having very little safe space and really not having the resources to reclaim it. There's no way to sort of make a space totally safe without exerting resources which might be better used elsewhere. I think it's a really important note. There goes the big fella. Completely turn this Bobby into mush. Needles are still trying to catch up to us. Footsteps echo in the presence of the older gods. Search the urn. White vial, glass vial, dirty toilet paper. mean, if we find enough healing items, blue vial, that's good. We could go back to the church. The train, sorry. Church of Ormo. Someone left their toolbox here. So someone just left it here, and it's not like it's the bloody corpse there. You find the craftsman's notes inside. So if you read the craftsman's notes... James, it happened again. Those kids stole the tools for the umpteenth time. If I ever catch them in the act, there's going to be hell to pay. The priest told me that everyone under the Ascended One share all possession. Nothing is mine and nothing is yours. All is that of Ulmer. What mumbo-jumbo? That might work for the priest and all, but he's not the one doing these renovations under a strict schedule. In future, I'll hide the toolbox. I got the perfect spot in mind already. When you enter the second hall, you know those statues? They are pointing one to another. Just follow their lead. The last one points at the spot near the wall. I'll leave the box under the floor tiling there. Also, just to make it more difficult for those thieving little rats, I decided it's best to close the underground passage to the renovation site. Father Domek took one of the key effigies to his orphanage. One was left for the priests here, and I'll take the last one to my own apartment. So if you need to use the passage, let me know. So that's the hint there, so you can see that's where all the effigies will appear on the map. So we've already been to the apartment, obviously. Getting to the church one may prove to be difficult. You find duct tape. I love how it says duct tape. It's an important part of the game for me. It became an important part of the text. Okay, let's check up this way. Ornament lantern. Another blue vial. And we're still... not like we're thriving here, but we're doing better than we were a minute ago. So we need to get that toolbox. And we'll see what we can do from there. I'm always fascinated by the level of moral decay, and I think playing a game on stream for just a second. Just gonna make sure this is working again. It says it's working on this end. I think maybe we're good again. Yes, sorry about that. So we found the toolbox. I was just talking about the moral decay in Fear and Hunger, and how you feel like you have to exploit everything you can in order to survive. Got the bolt cutters, 2 bolts, duct tape, bottle of vodka, the most important things in the toolbox. But playing it on stream feels like a slightly different experience, if just because I am vividly playing it to win, and I'm also in a state of lowered immersion. Particularly, I have played it before, but there's still, me talking over it the whole time and thinking of things to say is a very different experience to just playing it in the dark, the headphones cranked all the way up, not worrying about the rest of the world. I think that's the most important way to play horror games, and that's how I always try to play them. But obviously in stream, that's not how it works. Find a death mask. I wonder if I can optimize myself any further. I can, but is there anything? I think the meat mallet's as good as it gets, unless I want to use a pistol, which I might. Set make blood still and prevent bleeding. Improves accuracy. Cool. I like how I've just picked up eyeglasses and they just totally work. Not a qualm in the world about that. Okay, you didn't even realize how tall the church really was. So we want to try and avoid this creature. Cut the chain with the bolt cutters. Down it goes. Back down we go. Okay. So I'm taking a gamble here. Whether I go into the church basement or not, or whether I... How many healing items do I have? 1. I'd only really be able to bring one person up to speed. Who had... I think Olivia had slightly more health, but maybe by like 1 hit point. Because once you drop down here, you can't come back up. And I don't want to waste my Book of Enlightenment either. I'm saving that for a particular place. Well, you know what, we can try it, you know, you only live once. Chandeliers crash to the floor, jump down if you wanted to, investigate. Dark down there, smell of feces and gore fill the air near the gaping hole. Can't hear anything moving in the darkness though, so if we jump down, hopefully we can find healing items just enough for the both of us, but I doubt it at this point. Cell is locked with a simple rusty lock. I doubt we're going to be able to force this open. Looks slightly tougher than the last door. Punch it, Marco. Punch the door. Okay, it's too strong. I think this one will be the same. Yeah. I think since it's rusty, we can't use the... stand on these little snails. You'll see if you haven't played it already that the snails are particularly infuriating. Hello. He's just relaxing there, so it's fine. Now I always get slightly lost in the church basement. Maybe it's something to do with 2D space. I can navigate through 3D space fine in video games, but when it comes to 2D space, something different is going on. And it's not worse, but it is different. So we got the martyr effigy now. Pool of blood. The blood looks relatively fresh. Sorry. You can see the silhouette of your reflection in the blood. It distorts beyond recognition. Blue vial. Okay. What we're gonna do... So that's 30. I think we might as well both use it. Karin needs to eat. So does Marco, actually. Can both just chow down on a meat pie next to the pool of blood. I think that's a perfectly reasonable expectation. Go there. Okay. Is there anything else we can loot from this area? I don't think there is. Badly mutilated corpse. Seems to have been dead for a good while. Investigate. The body has been dismembered by something you cannot quite tell. There are many whip marks across the body. Dead man has got something bulging in his pocket. Feel it out. Find church keys and sewer keys. Okay, so that's what we needed. It's not particularly helpful for us, but that's what we needed. Okay. So it's these fellas. The Red Fathers, I think they're called. That's not a door, is it? Purifying Talisman, though, is what I need to get into the orphanage, though. So if I can get out of here alive and get back to the train, we'll be in a position to grab the last effigy today. Are you serious? See, they're really dangerous enemies because they can mind control a member of the party, which of course is particularly fraught when I've only brought 2 people along. It does technically make it easier to dodge them and to divvy out the healing supplies, right? But nothing else. Use the church keys. Just gonna hustle through there. Okay, so we've got alternate world here. Now, whether this is an improvement or not, I honestly can't tell you because I haven't warped into this world and studied it enough times to tell you all the differences. I'm just hoping if we can get any more healing items, it would be great just to have something extra to rely on, but I'm certainly not counting on it. But I love the new arrangement of the world, this disjunction, but also the same feeling here. Hello? What? You're not her. No, you're ruining everything. Why would you come here all of a sudden? Hey, take it easy, I mean no harm. Kaka, that's what they all keep saying. It's all talk, I've seen it too many times. Know what you want from me, just admit it. This brand new world, the boarded walls, the darkness that hangs above, it's all in ruin now. This isn't a surprise anymore. You've ruined the surprise. You've ruined the surprise. You can't leave now, you just can't. Is that a threat? You can't leave. So I might die here, to be honest, but it's worth showing this this fight off. You got dysmorphia here, so probably gonna die. I'm just gonna try knock out the arm. I hope I'm remembering which arm to go for, but I'm probably not. Yeah, no, that was the arm I wanted to take out, alright. Okay, so... Alright, one down. Necromancy. Not good in the slightest. Ghoul. I'm gonna take out the other arm again. Got nothing really to rely on here. Nasty bite. Yeah, go for Marco, he's fine. Rev up. Just go for the ghoul. Marco, go for the torso. Cool. I think I got pretty lucky with that critical hit there. Tackle. That was a lot of damage. I really don't have anything, do I? Just go for the torso again. I mean, if... No. Dead. Damn. I wasn't doing too bad either. She going for Marco. Again, that's the luck thing. It's worth showing off that we encounter though. Okay, so if we walk back, how may I best aid you? Leave. So we know what to do. We also know it's very dangerous down there, obviously. Look, we'll do the same thing that we did. We'll blitz through it this time. We'll go straight for the city. I'll tag along. I might actually I'll take both of you. And we'll go into the city. Yeah, we'll just go straight this way. There wasn't really that much to loot. It didn't give us anything except food, which we're not running low on. Famous last words. We'll see how we do. I'll go for another 20-30 minutes or so, I think, for today, and then I'll be back. I've got a couple of stream times set up later in the week, so I'll either come and try and finish this playthrough, honestly, or caught by the woodsman of all people. Cool. Take his arms straight off, and then from there we'll just it's hard to tell whether the AI is particularly smart or whether I'm just particularly unlucky. Basement key, beat him, and saw off his head. And we're going to go down into his basement and see if he's got anything in there. Really do need healing items for everyone. I'm not sure what's up with my luck this time around, but it's not great. We open, go down here, bag of wheat flour, bone saw, carrot, random junk, 2 bolts, gunpowder. Seems like someone has just been dumping everything they considered useless here. Why even store them in the first place? Can relate to that. Find a meat pie, find a carrot, goodness knows the number of things that, well, just humans in general inadvertently keep just because we can. Check the bookshelf, Man in Dreams. Or Nonsensical Ramblings of a Crazy Person. Seemingly dead old lady here. She seems to be holding tight on a piece of torn paper. Investigate. She's been dead for a while now, judging from the looks of her. Her head has been bashed with something and her wrists are cut open. You cannot tell which one led to her demise. Doesn't seem to have anything valuable. Note has been written with blood. I'll reunite with my lover on the other side. Cool, so we'll head out again, and we'll try and do the church right this time, though I really desperately need a healing item. Otherwise Olivia will die just immediately. No containers up here. Yeah, I really should have tried the gasoline canister earlier, but I'm not sure what the best strategy against dysmorphia is, to be perfectly honest. That's another, just another strategy I have to learn. But it's all just trial and error. And I guess, there's always the danger, right, in a horror game, I think. The threat of losing progress does lend everything an automatic weight. It gives everything consequence. It makes every decision an important one, like you just saw, like I'm replaying this section now. But it also, I do completely understand why that level of game design frustrates so many people. I think particularly, a lot of people dislike Resident Evil 1, I think because of the ink ribbons. I think it's become a fairly popular opinion to say, it's terrible game design because what if you save yourself into a corner? And you can, and you can lose a lot of progress. But I do think the actual level of consequence that's there, nothing good this time around. There was a blue vial last time, nothing this time. Back through we go. Here a bullet just whizzed just by. Goat hoof. Go away, Bobby, no one likes you. Piece of chalk. Yellow vial. Pep pills. But I think it's a design question that has to be not only set up at the start, but and baked into your game's design, but also design that has to be spelt out explicitly to the player. I think that it will force the player to learn to play the game at a higher level, or at least to live with the consequences of one's actions. And there's this term that I recently stumbled upon that I've linked into a little bit of my newest video essay, which is called benign masochism, and it's unfortunately I've forgotten who coined the term, but benign masochism is linked to a sense of mastery, I think, over feelings of suffering or pain. And it's important, right, to experience these sort of feelings of distress and suffering. As silly as that sounds, I'm just going to check around here and see if there's anything in this eastern outskirt area. Bear trap, egg, hear a gunshot. I think this is the area where the Bremen soldier is shooting everybody. Rotten meat, meat pie, 9mm bullets, bone saw. But yeah, you got to set it up for the player, right? Like save wise. Otherwise, the player will no doubt become incredibly frustrated. I'm just going to leave that soldier, I think. With the fact that they weren't told that they had to sort of navigate through this, and I think I also get it in terms of time. I mean, time is incredibly valuable. we only have one lot of time to use when it comes down to it. So I do understand people being frustrated, but I do like this benign masochism idea because I do get something personal. It's character development, as silly as that sounds. For myself, playing these horror games, I do get something out of it, a deeper sense of humanity, and just the messages that come through it are far more interesting than the messages that come from really large games. Little horror games have, or really most horror games in general, have much more interesting things to say about the world than so many other genres of game. That's why I was initially attracted to them, was because they were dealing with these mature themes that so many other games just don't bother to deal with, don't even dare to tackle. And then you have horror games out here really confronting a sense of truth. Like they don't shy away from what human beings can be like. And of course human beings can be wonderful and can be supportive, and I like to think the best of all the other humans that I meet, but there's still this knowledge, right, baked in, that a lot of people sometimes want to forget, justifiably or not, that we're not all that great sometimes, and we have to remember that. So yeah, so she's boosted back up to full. Still haven't found another blue vial, but a light blue vial wasn't the worst find, I suppose. Do I try and fight Dysmorphia again? Probably not. I'll leave her surprise for someone else to find. If we go up this way... Yeah, horror games are really something very special, and to be able to talk about them as often as I do, and to be able to play them as often as I do, to be able to engage with some of the things that are the most dear to me in this world, which are these horror games, as funny as it sounds. It really does mean a lot. If anyone is, whenever you're watching, know that, yeah, I really do appreciate it. Okay, so if we go down into the church basement again, okay, we're doing alright hunger-wise, so we're just gonna jump down. Everyone's jumped down alright. Air is filled with the absolutely disgusting scent of gore, and that's enough, right? That's enough to wash over us, to make us feel the sense of revulsion. Smush them. There's a moon-scorched person in there. Bottle of vodka. 5 shillings. Okay, go through here. Grab the statue of the winged being. Take the martyr effigy. You cannot quite explain why. Small statuette holds some importance. Definitely need it. Badly mutilated corpse. Grab the church keys and sewer keys. See, I don't like my chances of avoiding all of the snail men. Especially, I'm not getting any healing items. This is like Changeling all over again. I wasn't finding anyone with any schmouters or anything of the sort. So we'll circle up around here again. Try and lose them. Purifying Talisman. So is that a guaranteed drop in there? Have a Purifying Talisman? That would be nice. Where the hell did the snail go? Yellow vial. Small key. Okay. Snail man. Nothing up here. If we circle around this way. Ooh, don't get caught on the terrain. Use the church keys. Sprint desperately through. Asymmetric circle. The only link to between a man and an older god, so that was where Summary summoned Rur. The question is whether we can get out of here without fighting any of the snails, because Just like the neighbours. I don't like the snails at all. Altar of the New Gods in here. Oh. Oh no. Can I go around? No, I can't. Okay, well, we're fighting a snail. Crimson Father, your father. Okay, let's do this as quickly as possible. Just go straight for this arm. Cool. And that lets Marco get in the hits on the body, which is good. Who's he going after? He went after Karin. Fantastic. So, she's mind controlled. Just gonna go for the arm again. And instant kill. Critical hit. Just fantastic. So all I've got left is Marco. Not good in the slightest. That was terrible luck. And the Crimson Father is probably going to end up killing Karin anyway. Okay. A river. And I used the healing item on Olivia as well. I thought I might be able to make it through. Apparently not. Okay, that's not good at all. Squish this stupid snail. So you can see how dangerous they are. Just lost someone just like that. Use that. Do I have the oops, do I have the recipe to craft anything? I can craft a turtleneck. Craft mixed herbs, that's good. And I'll give that to Marco. So 75. It's not looking good for me. Maybe I should have had that on second thought, but cremated ashes in here, bone fragments. Oh dear. Run, tries to escape. Just run, just get out of there. I think it's this way. Nasty lever, get the hell out of here. Okay, so we got... God damn, we got 2 out of 3 of the effigies. We lost someone. We lost Olivia, unfortunately. Okay. Alright. That didn't really go to plan. But at least we managed to weave out of that last combat. Otherwise we would have died and had to do that again. Okay. So this Saint Domec's orphanage is where we need to go now. And then we also need to go through the sewers. I still want to save the book for a particular encounter, the one mandatory boss fight in this game. I want to save it for just before that. But I need to get the last effigy to do that. I don't necessarily like my chances of getting the last effigy, to be honest, with the amount of health I have. Okay, Bremen gas mask. I'm gonna optimize you, but obviously remove your weapon. Okay, where can I go from here? Nope, don't get caught on the train. Oh. Probably have a death mask pop out at some point too, which would be bad. Hear a bullet whiz by, just missed again. No, we didn't loot the bookstore. Okay. I thought I might have, but I guess I didn't. No entry. Break the rules, yes. Full of books. Full of books. Nothing interesting. Bookstore flies in them. Door is locked. Here's the small key. Bookshelf is full of random poetry, full of books. Ugh. Bad luck again. Just run past him. Can't remember. No, nothing along that route. He's blocking the stairs there. This could be the end anyway. Yeah, what do you know? 50 damage, just like that. Okay. One more try at this. And then I'll have to head off for the day. But we have made some progress. We've got at least one of the effigies. Tag along. Just bad luck regarding so many things. Tag along. Gonna optimize you. No, we can't. He doesn't really have anything to optimize with, actually. All the good stuff we got was picked up just before. So yeah, I think when you know, when you play this game, or games like it, you have to accept, I think, that you will lose time. But to conquer something like this game, I think, is also something very special, to gain that sense of mastery over it. Take that arm out. Take that arm out immediately. Cool. We're going to take out that. He's still stunned. If we can just keep him stunned, finish him off. There we go. Easy peasy that time. Basement key, we might as well run down and get that. You can see yeah, how much of the game is left up to chance, and whether or not you enjoy that. I'm sure there are things that a more advanced player could be doing that would mitigate probably some of the ignoble deaths I'm experiencing, but sometimes it really just comes down to how the numbers generate on the day, and currently the numbers have not been generating quite in my favour, which is alright. So we already know there's nothing else down here, so we'll just head out with the junk, random junk we got from that. And head along this way. I'll grab his head as well, actually. I'm sure there are, yeah, like a number of strategies, but you know, I've played the game for 50, 60 hours, and still, you know, on that sort of in the learners area, really. I know enough to beat the game, but I don't know enough to beat it comfortably, which is probably a good thing. I do like horror games to retain that sense of challenge, and if a little bit of randomness is what it takes for the horror game to remain frightening and confronting, then, you know, honestly, that's kind of fine with me. To a degree, of course. I don't want absolutely everything to be random, but when it comes to ludic played horror, then a bit of randomness absolutely never hurts. Get all the arms here. Cool. Bobby stopped shaking his head, so I'll just go straight for the head here. I don't know if you can miss the head when it's like that. Beat him. Search. A blue vial. That's right off his head. And yeah, what I've always liked about survival horror as a genre is the choice and consequence, of course, but the management of your items and really thinking about the impact that the use of each item is going to have. That you have to stretch your limited resources as far as possible, but also as intelligently as possible. There has to be a strategy behind it, otherwise you are going to put yourself in a corner, which a lot of people don't appreciate. I think they don't like accidentally being able to soft lock themselves, but to my mind that's an important part of... There's a blue vial on that one again. It's an important part of these games, I think, is that being a potential consequence. And of course a soft lock as a result of a glitch, that's a million times worse. Million times more annoying. Grazed by the shot this time. Did that cause me to bleed? No. I'd really appreciate it if you didn't. Oh. Lucky coin. Carrot, meat pie. And the light blue vial. Okay. Save the light blue vial. I'm gonna give that one to myself. We're just gonna run past the Bobby. That never happens. Okay. Didn't decide to go instantly for the jugular. Duct tape. Cloth fragment. 4 shillings. Run up here again. Oh, needles. I was wondering when he'd show his face. Gasoline canister. Glass shard to the head. Glass shard to the head. Just gonna try and blind him and then blow him up. Seems to be the most reliable strategy. I say innocuously. That obviously didn't... I threw 2 lots of glass into his eyes and it didn't blind him. We're gonna go twice. Dodge the syringe. Take the gasoline canister. Just go for him, I guess. And blow him straight up. Quickly grab the heroin. And move on. We can come back for his head later, I suppose. I say casually. Plank, shield, yellow vial. Can't believe he got me with his whip after we threw all that glass at him. Just no respecting the rules for some people. Okay. Hello, fella. You smush that guy into a fine paste again. That's fine with me. Go up this way. So we're going to give this one more go. Got time for one more go. Lucky coin. Blue herb. I can't believe it was the Bobby that got me after I got out of there alright. And the fact that Karin did 90 damage to Olivia. That's just cruel. That's the kind of stuff I live for. That was really, really something beautiful. Distressing, but beautiful. Blue vial. Okay. Alright, so what do we got? We got 1 blue vial. We're going to give it to... We're going to give it to Olivia. Piece of chalk. Just going to loot this. It'd be faster actually, wouldn't it, to come down here. Oops. Grab the toolbox. Bolt cutters and everything else. Yellow vial. 5 shillings. Oh, we'll go into the confessional, shall we? Why not? Overwhelming aura fills the air as you sit down to the confessional. Claustrophobic little box creates an atmosphere of condemnation and spite. Is there someone there? I do not see anyone on the other side. I like the atmosphere of condemnation and spite, encouraging you to think poorly of yourself. I'll leave the confessional we got. If there's no one there, feel no change. Was it all just a waste of time? Under white vial. In this environment, probably no one really here to listen to your sins, given everyone else is currently preoccupied with performing sin, indulging in it, whether consciously or not. The question as well is, do the monsters have this consciousness? Equipment. Marco doesn't need anything else except his fists. He'll just punch everything for as long as it takes. I think you can like fall off here if you sprint off the edges, if you're not careful. But fortunately, it's not too tricky to just break the chandelier. Okay. And I guess if Twitch hasn't tied the two things together, I'll have to tie the two videos into one, but that'll be alright. Just after the stream randomly crashed, which is unfortunate. Okay, so do we have any other... We got some red herbs, we got one blue herb. Keep doing that. Craft one mixed herb. Give that to me. And then if needs be, if I'm feeling I have to, I can give Marco the light blue vial. Jump down. So I do like as well the combination of, like, it could very easily have been a total fantasy world, but the fact that there are elements based on our world, it's based on our world's geography, but with all of these subtle differences, I think it's a really fantastic way to do world building, to be honest. Because it means the player is looking out for differences in the world and how it's presented, which is similar to how we can craft another mixed herb with that. And I think I could just give that straight to Marco, to be honest. Even if there's I wasted a little bit of healing potential there, I'd still want him at peak fighting capacity for this. Pet pills. Goodness knows we're just going to run into another snail. But yeah, okay, let's do this. So the snail will spawn from... No snail will spawn from that direction this time. Again, the randomness. You just don't know. You just don't know what to expect. Vegetable pie. Okay, so purifying talisman. No, did not spawn there this time. It's unfortunate. Okay. Oh, I forgot to grab the keys. That's why the snail didn't spawn. Snail spawns when you grab the keys. Okay. Investigate. Feel it out. Grab the keys. And now that we got the sewer keys as well, we'll actually be able to do the... So yeah, look at that. Like clockwork. Snail spawns in. Then we can circle around. And use the church keys, run on through before that guy gets angry. We're invading his personal space. There wasn't anything in here, was there? No. Paprika. There's like 50 billion snails down here. If I change to this other world, is there another way out, or is, can't remember, is fighting dysmorphia the only thing we can do? I'm not particularly keen to fight her. Salmon Snake Rune. But I don't think there's any other way out. It's either I fight her, or apparently I just fight 50 gazillion snail men. Look, we'll have a go at bypassing the snail men. Just gotta try plow through it. Okay, here we go. Such an interesting enemy. Oh, come on. Right. Focusing his attention. Who to get this time? Olivia. Okay. Quickly try and manage this. Okay, she hits herself. Can live with that if she's only going to do 20 damage a turn. Trembling furiously. Let's gun straight for that. It's alright, he's got enough health, he can tank it. Okay. I can finish this real quick. Okay. It's unfortunate he got that last hit in there, but that's okay. Cloth fragment and green herb. And we can actually use the light blue vial on you now. Smash this. Okay. So there's still one Crimson Father in there. I'm gonna open that. Does this lead anywhere I want to go? I can't even remember. Nope. Okay, ready, go. Okay, let's just try and kill this one as quickly as possible as well. Unfortunate. Just hoping to have knocked both its arms off. Mind control. If everyone I could have mind controlled, I was really hoping it wouldn't be Karin again. Oh, she stunned herself. Okay. Oh. Okay, great. Critical hit. That's fine with me. Smush this stupid snail. Search. Find the soul stone. Find nothing. Penny bone. 6 shillings. Blue herb. We can craft that immediately. We're gonna sprint back to the train, and then I'm gonna save and quit because that one's. I know I burned through a lot of healing supplies here, but hey, at least we got out with everyone alive. Theoretically, we even killed Needles too for his trouble. Just as long as we don't get insta-killed by a Bobby this time, we should be fine. So we're gonna make our way quickly back to the train, and I'm gonna have to finish the stream there. Hopefully we can just continue this playthrough later on. We could even go back and fight Dysmorphia later if we felt like it. But again, like, I like the level of... A lot of people sort of... I'll probably talk about this later. A lot of people like lambast. Oh, I can't believe every horror game is all just about, it's what's in your head and all these psychological reflections. But surely having those themes in there like makes it more interesting. I agree I don't like it necessarily when it's all just in the person's head, but when you have elements of danger that are made real by the person's psyche, it is, I think, much more interesting. Okay, we got 3 people this time. I'll just take out all the arms real quick. We can do this. We got this. Make it back to the train. And then next time I'll either go for the orphanage or the sewers, but we've still got plenty of time left in the game, technically, to accomplish what we need to. And we can also start to rely on other methods of saving, like the book as well, which I'm going to use at one point. Just all go for the torso. It doesn't make sense not to. I don't know why I was thinking about that one so hard. Cool. Alright, down immediately. Beat him. Search him. I like to think the game was giving me at least a little bit of relief on this most recent attempt. Was like, okay, you've died enough. You've suffered enough. We're going to let you get away with this one. But next time it'll be right back to kicking the shit out of me, I think. Which is, again, how I like it, the benign masochism thing. You can quote me on that one. I'm a real video game masochist. The more horrifying and the more crushing, emotionally crushing, the better, as long as there's a point to the pain, I think, is the main thing. And even when there's no point, that itself can be the point, but it can be pretty disgusting to watch certain nihilistic horror films or that kind of thing. I did discuss that in a previous Termina stream, which must have been a very long time ago by now, like 6 months or something. But it's all archived. It's in the archives. Okay, down we go. Oh, we made it. Okay. Seats look wide enough. We'll rest, and I'll call it a stream for now. I'll piece together the VOD. Will be the plan, because it crashed in the middle. But I'm looking forward to continuing my playthrough of this and navigating our way through the sewers, and yeah, just getting to the end of really what has become one of my favorite, I was going to say favorite horror games, but just favorite games ever. I'm really, really infatuated with it, and really getting to grips with it is my goal, and trying to understand it so I can write as thorough and interesting an analysis on it as possible. It's a really, really excellent game. So I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will see you all later on this week at some point. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.